So I'm gonna start this video off with a quote and then with a story that directly relates to this idea that I'm gonna talk about. So the quote is, and this is from Einstein, I only heard this the other day and I really like this quote. And it's, "The idiot is amazed by complexity and the expert is amazed by simplicity." Now, what does this mean in very raw terms? It means the idiot, the beginner, is amazed by complex, by hard, by difficult seeming systems, situations, all of this. And the expert is amazed by the simple things, the foundations, the things that set up everything else, the first things that you learn, right? The expert is amazed by that. Now, to give you guys a real example of this, this was back in February this happened. This was with my business partner. My business partner and I split up here around 2 months ago. I'm making this in May, and this idea that I'm referring to happened in February. So back in February, we had just launched our second ad campaign. So we ran our first one. We were getting good results as far as book calls go, but we had terrible show up rates and the quality of our leads were very bad. And this is a lesson that I'll talk about a lot more. This is a lesson that I'll touch on a lot more as you're watching this, more videos further down the line. You'll get the full depth of this experience that I got. So anyways, we had those two big issues. And back in February, like a month into running our second ad campaign, we were having the same issues. We were running like $50 a day. So we had, a couple, $1,500 spent at this point. And so we asked our mentors that I paid, $7,500 for. So very expensive, knowledgeable mentors. We asked them, we were like, hey, like we're still getting a lot of the same issues that we had before. Like, what are we missing? There's obviously something that we haven't grasped. There's obviously something that we're overlooking. What are we missing? And my mentor said this to me, and I will never forget this question. And this is a question that I heard so many times. And it was, okay, first off, what is your guys' show up rate? Now, to let this sit for a little bit, and you'll learn this more in the agency as you progress, as you learn new things, as you watch more videos of the experience that I can give you guys from the 15 months that I've been running an AI agency. This is like one of the most rudimentary things that you can track, your show up rate, right? At the end of the day, how many people book in from your ad actually show up to your call? This is one of the most important metrics, one of the most key metrics. And he asked us this, and my business partner and I looked at each other, and we didn't know. We had no idea. Now, we had a tracker set up, but we weren't taking it seriously at all. And we thought it was around 60%. Again, still not ideal. We thought it was around 60%. What do you think it actually was when we went back and we did the tracking and figured it out? It was 42%. This is subpar in, a lot of realms, a lot of key metrics. But we thought it was 60 and it was 42% was our show up rate. And so our mentor, he basically put this into perspective for us. And this is one thing so the idea behind this video is that you need to focus on the simplicity and on the foundations. Anything past that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And this is something that you have to train yourself outside of. Us humans, we're attracted to novelty, right? Anything new from an evolutionary psychology standpoint, we're going to be attracted to it. You have to train yourself to just get so good at the foundations. Success will follow. I'm telling you this right now. Complexity and anything past the realm of the foundations and getting good at the foundations are something for a much future you talk. After you get your first few clients, even your first clients you get, they're going to be the subject of proper foundations, of the simplicity that you yourself need to implement. So our mentor, going back to the story, our mentor was like, okay, you guys need to be tracking. Right? Tracking is one of the most important things that you need to go. He referenced it. It's like, what did he say? It's like an airplane flying, but you don't know which way you're going, right? You're flying good, but at the end of the day, there could be so much efficiency lost. And if you don't know where it is, you're just, shooting in the dark, right? You have no idea where to steer your plane. And so tracking was one idea behind this. Tracking is going to be one of the foundations in an AI agency. Secondly, and this was another idea, and this one had a little bit of friction between what I thought and my business partner thought, but regardless, it was the idea of we were having not issues, but our ads weren't performing as well as we wanted them to, right? We were at a 42% show up rate. Our quality was better, but it still wasn't as good as it could be. but we were also looking at it from a perspective of like every single lead should be qualified, which in a certain extent is true. However, he thought that we should do cold SMS. So we're running an agency, we're running our ads, all of this, and he wanted to switch to a completely different thing. Now, one of the key ideas in this foundation, the simplicity, I'm going to make another video specifically on this, shiny object syndrome. It's where, you think that this shiny new idea is going to solve all of your problems compared to what you're doing right now. And this is something that I've heard so many times. I've probably heard this over 100 times because it's such a foundational idea to have, right? And so I was telling my business partner this. I'm like, hey, we got to just focus on this. We got to just focus on the fundamentals, focus on the ads, on the, our setting, focus on, our reminders, all of this. Just focus on the foundations, right? The 5 things that we need to run an agency, just get really good at them. And we were arguing, and long story short, right? He tried this completely new system and it didn't fail in any sense. And the idea behind me saying this is not in any way whatsoever to put a negative light on anyone or anything, but it did not perform the way he thought it was going to perform, right? And that goes back to the idea of it's just the foundations, right? We have been running this for really in depth running this for 6 months, but I've been running this for a year and a little bit. And we still don't have the foundations down to the point where we could put in $1 and get $2 back. Put in $1, get $3 back. And to switch up from everything, from this to this to this to this, you lose sight of the things that actually matter. The idea, and I talk about this in The Evolution of the Agency in this book right here, The One Thing by Gary Keller. You need to knock down you ask yourself this. What domino can you knock down that's going to knock down a whole bunch of other dominoes? You don't want to stray away from the foundations. You don't want to stray away from those, in the agency, let's say those 5, 6 dominoes, right? Let's say ads, your funnels, your messaging, your pre-call, and your sales. Let's just say that. Very, very simplistic. If you master those 5, you can make 10K a month. You can make 100K a month. Past that, maybe you need to introduce more complex ideas. But those foundations are all you need for success. And once you stray past that, you are shooting, excuse me, you are shooting yourself in the foot for no good reason. So the idea behind this, focus on the foundations. Focus on the few things that are going to move the needle the most, the few dominoes that you can knock over that are going to give you the most outsized returns, and just stick to those. It's going to be so easy to go off the path, right? And see this new shiny thing, this new thing, right? Try this new set of ads. Just get good at one thing and stick to it to the point where you are successful with it. Then from there, maybe you can veer off the path. But as you're starting, right, this video is meant for people who are starting. If you're watching this, you're just starting, right? You're probably not making 10K a month with whatever it is. Stick to the foundations. Stick to simplicity. Simplicity is key. The simple things are what is going to move the needle. So very, very, very important lesson. Very, very, very big thing. One of probably the most, foundational things that I have learned in my career, in just my life even. This isn't even just an agency thing. For you to get good at anything, just stick to one thing, right? You can't multitask. That's another thing. Where did I read this? Yeah, the one thing. You can't multitask. You have limited glycogen in your brain, limited sugar in your brain to focus on tasks. Focus on one thing and you will get more success. So really, really consider this, you guys. Needle moving activities. Focus. Those needle moving activities are best found in the foundations and the simplistic ideas and stuff to focus your energy on, right? So keep that in mind as you guys are doing anything, whether it's the agency or anything in life. So hope you guys got value out of that, and I will see you in the next one.